During this period, she withdrew from the outside world, spending her nights outdoors in worship, pouring out her heart to God through music and intense prayer. The singer described the experience as transformative, though emotionally and spiritually demanding. She spoke of a heightened sense of God's presence and a profound internal struggle that accompanied her time in the mountain. In a chilling revelation, Chidima recounted the moments when she felt spiritually attacked. She stood at the edge of a cliff, compelled by a dark voice urging her to jump, just as that thought took hold. She said an unseen force intervened and stopped her, saving her from a potentially tragic outcome. Her testimony has drawn widespread attention and support, with fans and followers praising her honesty, courage, and unwavering faith through such a deeply personal battle. Chidima's experience, though harrowing, stands as a testament to her spiritual resilience and commitment to her calling. Now, this is the thing. We've been waiting for this. It's, when you're hungry and salivating for food, we've been wanting to know how she transformed from secular music to gospel music, and here we have it. She had to walk us through the journey of course. I like the honesty. The honesty is wonderful by telling us, oh yes, it was tough, but yes, she had to isolate herself a little bit from people and some certain things, because it's not easy to convert. It's not easy, and gospel music is more like ministration, all right, speaking to people through the word of God and music, all right, and making them resonate with it. Not me talking like a gospel artist. But yeah, we've been expecting this, and here it is. For those asking, how on earth did she transform from being a secular artist? And people were even asking, oh, I thought you're in relationship with our, you know, um, we know who the person is, and now you're now a gospel artist. How did that happen? People would even not want to listen to her music. It's more like, maybe because this one is not selling for her, she decided to join. But now, she's giving us a clear picture of how everything went down. I'm sure these questions will stop. So let's move forward. Governor Monday Okpebolo of Edo State has appointed Munirat Antoleki, a former Big Brother Naija housemate, as the Senior Special Assistant, SSE, on Tourism and Creative Economy. The appointment, effective from June 23rd, 2025, was confirmed in an official letter signed by the Secretary of the State Government, Umar Musa Ikiola. Lekki, a media entrepreneur and actress, is expected to play a strategic role in boosting Edo State's tourism sector and creative industries. Her mandate includes promoting the state's cultural heritage, supporting the return of the looted Benin bronzes, and contributing to the development of museums and other cultural institutions. Reacting to the appointment, Lekki expressed her gratitude via Instagram, thanking Governor Okpebolo for entrusting her with the role. In addition to her new position, Lekki currently serves as Special Assistant on Digital and New Media to Nigeria's Minister of Steel Development, Shaibu Adu. Her diverse professional background includes leading role in the creative and sports sector. She previously served as head of operations for Nigeria's first private basketball league, program manager at Kunle Afolayan Productions, Films and Television Academy, and arts and special projects lead at Electa. So she actually have a whole lot in her table. She's been doing a lot. She's been working. It's not just after Big Brother Naija we didn't hear. No, there are people that work behind closed doors and we have nothing. We don't even know about it. Imagine she's an actress. She worked here, and all that. So I know people would ask the questions of how come, questions like this pops up, especially when it's a female. How come she got to this point? Oh, maybe she's related to the governor or this. Let's just give her a congratulatory applause, because it is not easy to get a political appointment. So congratulations to her, and of course, big ups to her. We expect more, just like the governor says. Let's move forward. Popular Nigerian social media critics, Very Dark Man, has blasted his lawyer, Deji Adeyonju for advising him against unnecessary risk. Adeyonju had, in a post on X, advised Very Dark Man against unnecessary risk, stating that everyone will move on if anything happens to him. The lawyer's post has sparked speculations of feud between him and his client, Very Dark Man. Reacting to the post, Very Dark Man in an Instagram video noted that such advice can only come from a coward. Anybody will open his mouth talk that is a coward. While expressing his disappointment, Very Dark Man said, "I'm really disappointed by this tweet from my lawyer about me." Let's listen to what he said.
Address this post by my lawyer, Deji Adeyonju, that have gone viral. I've seen it all over the blogs. If you open Facebook, it's all over Facebook, it's all over TikTok, and I opened Twitter just now. That's the first thing I'm seeing. So my lawyer, Deji Adeyonju, said, "I call VDM every time to be careful and stop taking unnecessary risks, but it doesn't listen most of the time. If anything happens to you today, everyone have moved on by tomorrow. We only overrate ourselves. Nigeria don't rate anybody. First things first, I'm really disappointed in my lawyer, Deji Adeyonju. I am so disappointed in you for this post. Especially because you are a comrade. If now regular Nigerians talk this thing, I would say okay because they don't know better. But as you don't make this tweet now, let me enlighten all of you on something. Now, we said if anything happens to you today, Nigerians will move on. It is true. But is there anybody on earth in this world that will die today that the world will not move on? Jesus Christ died, the world move on. Pope of Catholic Church just died, the world don't move on. They don't even get another pope. Diego Jota, Liverpool player, the world don't move on. Let's talk about Buhari, who just recently passed. Buhari, our former president, a very important personality in Nigeria history. Ikpai. Everybody don't move on. What do you think is special about you? There's no human being where go die, where the world no go move on. You know the problem is, Nigerians put a lot of importance to themselves. There's nothing important about you. You are just a human being that this world just be like, it just be like road where all of us they pass. We go end up in the right place, which is in the grave. Do you understand? So when he said, I take risks on unnecessary things, I take unnecessary risks, I don't see them as unnecessary. What are the risks he's talking about? Yelwata. I went to Yelwata. Do you understand? Not just Yelwata. Anytime anything happens, I go there. I go there because I have a platform. And I just want to call the attention of the government to what the people in the rural areas, the underground people, the ghetto people, the villagers, all these people that don't have opportunity for the government to hear their cry. When things happen to them, I just go there to say, hey, government, come and see. For crying out loud, they reported that Yelwata news. Nobody knew that it was that bad until I went there. And to be very honest, the media, there's nothing anybody wants to tell me. The media is controlled in Nigeria. So they would not go and show those things. Do you understand? Those are the unnecessary risks. I don't see them as an unnecessary risk. I am very, very energetic. I'm a young man. I have the purpose. I have the zeal. But Nigerians think that they are so important. Oh, yeah. They can't get one particular quote where they get. They say, if you die now, you lose. Excuse you? What do you mean by that? Can you control that? Do you know what will happen in the next minute? Who are you? Unnecessary risks. Am I better than the people where they die of natural causes every day? The people where motor jam. Am I better than them? Am I better than the people where they die of cancer? Am I better than the people where the villages where malaria they kill? Are you better than them? You people place so much importance in your life. To be very honest, when I see that tweet, I was disappointed because, oh my wait, you be comrade. You know we really need to do these things. But don't ever. So all those people where they talk say, if you die, Nigeria will move on. There's no human being on earth that will die where the world don't go move on. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, died, the world move on. Look at where we are today. Now we don't turn throwback. Ultimately, anybody who open his mouth talk that thing is a coward. I swear to God. Any human being for this country will open his mouth. If he die, Nigeria will move on. It's a coward. And trust me, that is a word that the politicians have put there. It is the government that put that in there to scare people from talking. There's nothing. You are not important. You are meant to live and die. We will all end up in the grave. Think about it. What is in this world? Think about it. Tell me today. I want to know. What is the routine? You wake up in the morning, you go and look for money, you come back. Then when you don't make so much money, you raise a family, you born pikin, the pikin grow, 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 you born another pikin, the pikin grow, 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 you born another pikin, you look for money, you are in circle. That is the thing that you do in this world. The most important thing in this world is what you do for people. It's how you affect people's lives. Do you understand? That's the most important thing of this world, nothing else. So when people talk all these things and say, if you die, Nigerians will move on. There's nobody that will die when Nigeria no go move on, my brother. And like I said, it's not coward talk. I have the platform. If you people call in unnecessary risks, no problem. People have said a lot of things. A lot of people don't say, na cloud chaser, they use and make money, it doesn't do this. There's no problem. Do it. Do it. If you die now, you lose. Who died now, you lose. Which kind of talk with that? You know what will happen in the next minute. You can only plan that the ancestors and the universe, they control the world. Don't monkey yourself. Some people say when they take risks, that they did their house, that they can't kill them. What did happen for Benway? Then they go take risk. No be there, they go there. Terrorists will can't kill them. What did happen for Borunu? What happened for Yerwata? They were in their homes. They are farmers. What did happen for Aguinebudu? What did happen for Enugu? What did happen for Taraba? What did happen for Bayelsa? What's happening in Delta State? All those farmers will just there. They'll just come finish them. They don't buy them. You think you are important? You are nothing. We are all nothing. We are all nothing. We are like the animals that you see every day that people. The chicken where they waka up and down, no, see they'll still catch and chop. You place so much importance in your life when you are worth nothing at the end of the day. We are passengers in this world. We all end up in the grave. Peace and love. Don't.
So, with that being said, I'm sure you can understand what his fuse is about. Let's move over to the next story. Famous Canadian pop star Justin Bieber has shattered multiple records on the US Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard 200 charts. Bieber, who became a father a few months ago, recently released his seventh studio album, Swag, in celebration of fatherhood. The album cover featured him, his wife, Hailey, and their son, Jack Blues. The album dominated this week's Billboard Hot 100 with 16 songs, and the lead track, Daisies, debuting at number 2. The multiple entries saw Bieber break a tie with Chris Brown for the most Hot 100 charts entries by a male singer with 121 songs. I don't know, I feel so proud for Justin Bieber. Maybe because of the love I have for him. But yeah, do you know what it means? He actually made this song and dedicated this song for fatherhood, right? Of course, he just became a father a few months ago, and I'm sure maybe he might not be expecting it to be on the Billboard, but voila. And of course, we know what it means for your album to be in the Billboard Chart 100 and one of your songs number 2. that's it's not a joking matter. So we should give him his flowers. We should give him his accolade. It is a big one. It is something to congratulate him for. Yes, of course we have Afrobeat artists that have been topping charts, especially from Nigeria. So let's give an accolade to Justin Bieber. Okay, here comes the final story. On the 5th July 2025, Osubon performed his final show at the back of to the beginning concerts event amid ongoing health issues, having announced earlier in the year that this would be his last live performance, though he intends to continue recording music. He died 17 days later. Fans were seen mourning his death at his Hollywood Walk of Fame star in Los Angeles on Tuesday. Flowers were laid at the star on Hollywood Boulevard next to candles and flowers left by fans. At LA Record Store, Amoeba Music, the Black Sabbath section, swarmed with people browsing the cult band's albums. Osbourne earned his in-family biting and head off a bat on stage and proceeds from Paranoid to War Pigs to Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Those post string of solo releases saw him sell more than 100 million records worldwide. No cause of death was given, but Osborne revealed in 2020 that he had been diagnosed rather with Parkinson's disease. The illness made him unable to work. Let's take a look.
Excuse me, excuse me.
I had to hold myself back from crying because Black Sabbath is, they're like my band. They were, I've been listening to them most of my life. So I connected with them when I was probably 12 or 13 years old. It was in your face, you couldn't ignore it. You couldn't ignore it. It was just cool. They were cool. They
That's really the way to go. They're really, I'm just looking at them right now because they're such beautifully put together records. I saw it coming because he'd been sick for a few years now, but didn't make it any easier. You know, it's funny when people you admire but don't know pass away, but you feel like especially his stuff with Black Sabbath meant a lot to me, and he was a huge influence on me personally, and the way I live. Maybe some elements more than others, but you know, yeah, it was really sad.
Oh, not super surprised, but certainly sad. I mean, he's beloved. We all love him. He's a true legend. It's been important for the entirety of my life. Uh, I was thinking actually an hour ago or so about how someone like that so many of us get into at such a young age and then never outgrow, so he's just there with you. Like so many Ozzy memories. It's sad. It's a loss.
I was actually at the doctor's and I actually started tearing up because he got me through a lot of stuff in my life. And, ever since I was in high school, I really loved his music and got into him. And yeah, it was really sad. He's a great family man, so it was sad. Their music, it was just like in your face. They didn't care, and when you're a young kid in high school, that's, how you feel. Like you don't care what anybody thinks. You're trying to find yourself, and
I feel like he was a big part of helping not just me, but a lot of whole culture find themselves, you know?
So we have for you in the news segment this hour. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, I'll review my guests to you. So stay with us.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder. So
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Welcome back. You're still watching eVibes, the entertainment show on Signature TV. Live here with me is Ifeoma Nebe, popularly known as Queen Ife. She's an actress, and we'll be talking about typecasting and the pressure to stay glamorous, young, and marketable. So thanks for joining. Again, actually.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How are you?
Okay, it's been a while.
Did you miss me? Did you miss me?
I did miss you.
All right. So how has it been in the movie industry?
Oh, well, it's been fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been fun.
You know, I saw a movie of you. Yeah. What's the name again? Taking Over.
Taking over, that's on Rock.
Yes, on Rock.
Yeah.
Yes. So you acted as I was pissed, honestly. While seeing the movie, I was so pissed. Honestly speaking, I became confused of who does this. Is this still happening?
Of course, it's just you can liken it to our industry too. It happens a lot.
Okay.
Or to everyday life out there.
Okay.
It's people trying to pretend what they are not just to fit in.
Right.
Yeah, just
Right.
to fit in with people. So
And I think that's what the movie industry
it's all about
entails.
somehow. Yeah.
Okay. So let's dive into the topic of the day, right? As a young lady, how best do you think you can handle pressure when it comes to the movie industry, especially when there's lots of female actresses there?
Okay, I think I always tell people that I do get this emails, messages, and from people that say they want to join the industry
Okay.
and they want to start acting.
Yeah.
First off, I always say for you to have your own money.
Okay.
Aside movie money, have
Yeah.
something doing, something else, something you can fall back on.
Yeah.
Because,
Please speak up a bit.
right, you have to have something you can fall back on. Because
Yeah.
if you depend solely on movie, I
Mhm.
don't think, I don't know, everyone's grace is different. But I would
Fact.
advise that you should have something else doing. Because if you depend on just the movie money, you can keep working all the time. This is why the people that have been here before us, some of them fall sick. They don't rest. They don't take care of themselves. Now, so you see, if you center your life in around this movie thing, you
Yeah.
will rest. You collapse at some point because one, you're standing, you're thinking, you're trying to perfect your act. It's a whole lot of things
Yeah.
you do, right? So now, if you have some sort of thing that gives you that is different from our job that you're doing. You know, when you're not working, you go out there, you do that, and then acquire money for yourself. So when the job doesn't come, you have something to keep you afloat.
Okay.
Given how bad the economy is in this country, you need as much as you can lay your hands on.
Yeah.
As a woman specifically, because being a woman in this one is quite difficult.
Very
and then being a
difficult.
pretty one, messed up. So, so, and I don't joke with respect a lot. So I get it. There are some other females out there that don't joke with respect. I, for one, I don't mess around with it.
Okay.
So rather than you insulting me, I rather go back to whatever it is that I was doing
Okay.
for this whole movie thing. Do you get it?
Yeah.
It's a passion. I love my job. I love playing different characters. It's so sweet, enjoyable, right? But again, when it comes to the when it comes at the detriment of my peace of mind,
Okay.
I don't know. I would just stay.
All right. Let's talk about the part where you say they don't take care of themselves. They don't look out for themselves. We've lost lots of actresses and actors, but let me talk about actresses, right? It's as if it's now a trend to, have this whole beautiful body. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so I don't know if it's part of the movie. You have to remain beautiful. You have to remain authentic for them to, always feature you or something.
Yeah, but we can't always blame the actresses. We have to also blame the viewers. Because when my movie come on TV and I am and you're watching my movie and then you go under my comments and you say I have flat nyash, how do you expect me to feel? I'm human. Or you go, oh my, this is this way. See, all this just bothers on you as a person, yeah, and contentment, right? Okay, so you can't blame most of them because some do it for themselves. Just, this is the way I want to look and this is my decision.
Okay.
While some do it because some of this, come on, have you gone on social media? Have you gone to their comments? It's not fair.
Yeah.
Because these people are human too. As much as we feel emotions and try to become what we're not, to give you a very good movie, that doesn't mean that we are less of a human. Okay, so the things you say to us, it gets to us, and it messes up with our head that we have to have a specific look, we have to have a specific car, we have to do this, you have to do that, and it's fake it till you make it in this our industry, whether you like it or not.
Are you serious?
No, let's be honest, because I love being honest. I don't like it when we maybe post the good ones and then you don't talk about the bad part. Most actresses, most people that started out this journey, but because they couldn't keep up with it, they decided for their peace of mind, I'd rather stay home because I can't deal with this.
Okay.
Now you wake up one morning as an actress, upcoming, and then you see that the person you're looking up to has a brand new car and she just posted it.
Okay.
When is it gonna be my turn? And then you hear stories of people that go to car dealers then just to take pictures and just to feel among.
Okay.
Okay, so now when you check, I'm just being honest. When most producers check this, they go through your Instagram page because our Instagram page is like our CV. Do you get it? That is where you see our work. Sorry, our social media page is like our CV.
Yeah.
This is where you see our work, the things we can do,
Okay.
and what we've done and what not. Now, when you go on social media and you look for an actor that you would want to be on your job, first off, you're looking for presence, social media presence, so that when I use this person, people would want to go and watch my movie.
right? That's why you see they keep using the same actors again and again, right? Now, so you see that social media, for you to be there, you have to fake it. And sometimes some people do fake it, and you can't even begin to blame them, because this is our industry. It's not like we do have these issues between crew members and actors, and
Yeah.
they pay us more and we do this more. But when you check it, the life of an actor is very messed up.
Yeah.
You buy handbags, you buy hair, and again, when you see me in a movie and I use this hair once and I use it twice, you can use it 3 times, 4 times. You're gonna
Sorry,
complain.
let me cut you there, right? The hair thing. There are customers, right?
Yeah.
And they bring the hair, the outfit, the shoe, everything.
They do, but just like they have grade A, grade B,
And
grade
Grace.
C.
Oh wow.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So I would prefer to use my own hair because it's more authentic, right? Most of the costumiers don't come up with body costumes.
Yeah.
Perfect. We love it. But then, in terms of the hair, the shoes, and the handbags, we comfort with it. We come with our ours. So you see, by the time you use a handbag 3 times, 4 times, and someone is like, "Is this the only handbag you have? Can't you change?" And then you see, you go buy another handbag.
Which
You
is
go
from the
back.
comment section.
Do you get it? So now you see, you're trying to fake it. You're seeing
For your fans.
Do you get it? Now, when you pay me, right, what I'm thinking is, I need to change this bag because I've used it for a while, and I need to change this hair, the sandals, the silkwas I'm using. I have to change it. It's a whole lot of thing. And then the makeup, because not everyone could get your face, I know how to do my makeup, and I know that this is what fits my face. So most time on set, I go with my makeup stuff.
Okay.
I buy my makeup stuffs, I buy the brushes, so that you won't use the same brush you used on someone else on my face. I tend to react. You see, all of these things borders on money.
Okay, let me ask you this, yeah. When it comes to, we're still talking about women.
Yeah.
We notice that they don't use, most times they don't use the pregnant ones. Let's take for instance you get pregnant now.
Okay.
Of course, we might not see you on set till probably when you're done with omugo, like the Igbos call it, and you've given birth and all that, and there's a physique. Why is that?
Okay, sometimes it's based on scripts. Okay, how many movies have you seen lately that has pregnant women?
Just one, actually.
Just one. You see? Okay. So now, and this is something that we can build and remove at any point in time.
I'm talking about the real pregnancy, like
That's what I'm getting.
real pregnancy.
So so now see what we're talking about is when you're pregnant, it comes with a lot of things. You're tired, exhausted. You can't be on your feet 24/7 trying to, because when they say action, I have to deliver the same thing I deliver to you and to the next person, so that they could, get the same reaction, right? And now you see, for a pregnant woman standing on her feet and doing that and doing that, she gets exhausted. And then you check time too, that the person would need to get home. So you need to release the person. And you see that some producers, they have certain amount of time they need to get a movie out. So if you delay it, it's their money that is burning. So rather than going for a pregnant woman that would stress, I'm not saying it's
What about giving them little play, like act as a secretary, just walk into my office, tell me, "Sir, there's somebody here to see you."
Okay, they do that sometimes.
It's rare.
It's rare.
It's rare.
Have you dealt with a pregnant woman on set?
Oh.
You do know that when we go on set, they off all the ACs and everywhere is sweating. And no noise, no this, no that. And it's come.
So because of their hormonal change and all.
And again, I might come near her and
So not just the physique.
No, not just the physique. Come on.
Okay.
I might come near her and she goes, "I'm smelling," and I'm not even smelling, but because it's her hormones. So these things they try not to. But in terms of physique, it's very important too that you take care of yourself as a woman, then as a human being, then as an actor. It's very, very important. Most of our actors, most of the old ones we've worked with slum, and they say, "Oh, they did juju for this person, they killed this person." I don't believe in that. It doesn't work for me.
Okay.
I feel like as much as you can, take your vitamin C's, take your magnesium, take anything that it is that can keep you on your feet. Drink lots of water. And then again, you don't have to do all the jobs.
Good. Coming to that now, right?
Right.
It's as if they don't take care of their health, just like you said. Maybe because of the work load. When you're in the spotlight and you start getting gigs, name them Netflix and all that. The possibility to be consistent, right? Let's talk about the skincare, the taking of vitamin C and all. Most times, I'm not an actor, you can prove me. I'm sure sometimes we find you people on set on the night, right? You just rush out by 10 p.m. Or come out by 6 a.m. and all. So at what point do you have to be consistent with your health?
Okay, this is why you have a schedule for yourself, not just for the job. For yourself and the job. Okay. You have to always tell yourself that I come first. If anything should happen to me, movie continues. They find another person to replace me with. As much as we pray for us to get what we want, you have to pray to keep yourself there too. Okay? And that involves you taking care of yourself. Now, if I call you for a job, the way they call us for jobs and gigs, right? Okay, your face is out there and you're doing so good, right? And they call you for jobs. You have to say, okay, for me, this is the way I do it. I don't know for other people. And I stand corrected, okay? So this is the way I do it. Okay, so I'm available from now to this. And you have to be very sweet about it. You don't have to be rude about it. Hi, thank you so much for calling me for this job. And you have to insist for your own good. The money is very intoxicating, I'm telling you. When you get to that point that you want, it's very intoxicating. You would want to keep packing more money and packing more money. But that's a detriment of your own health. So now you say, oh, I'm available from this to this. Most people that work with me, before they call me for a job, they will ask, are you sure you're ready to bring Ify on set? Ask her first where she is, where she's staying. And you have to build these things from onset, not just now you arrive and then you start setting rules. Now they start calling you a rude person. But from onset, you've been saying, oh, I love rest. I don't joke with myself. My own is I don't like stress. Once you come on set and they see me, the first thing they say is, I'm someone that doesn't like stress. It's not about not liking stress. It's about the fact that I love myself. And I love this world we are in. And I would want to be healthy to enjoy my money. So if I walk.
Who eat the money?
Do you get it? so when I tell people that sometimes once I see money, first of all, pay me for a job, I'll go to a restaurant and I'll sit down by myself and I'll
enjoyment.
I love enjoyment. It's not about luck. Okay, yes, there's nothing so bad about. I love good life. I love a good life as much as I can give it to myself comfortably, right? And if my job is giving me ways for me to provide for myself, who am I to say no? So you say you have to schedule it. I work from here from now to this, and then I take out 2 days, take out 1 week, because at some point your body is going to start telling on you. Fact.
So would you agree that communication is a key point to that?
Yes, communication with yourself.
So let's talk about the marketable part of it, right? You made mention of faking it till you make it, especially in social media, being your CV to get gigs, right? How best, except from faking it till you make it, do you think that a female that wants to feature into movie can be marketable?
Love yourself. That's very important.
Okay.
You have to love yourself a lot, because you're going to meet a lot of people, a lot of women, different sizes, different colors, and also now if you love yourself enough, you're like, okay, I'm good with myself the way I am. I know what I bring to the table. I for one, I always tell myself every day before I leave the house, I look at the mirror and I'm not scared of shit. I'm like telling
you give yourself words of affirmation.
You get it. You're very pretty. You're very beautiful. You're very good at what you do.
Okay.
You have to be very good at what you do in this industry for you to stay there. You have to be very good.
So that's point number 1.
You have to be
point number 2.
Exceptionally good.
Oh, okay.
Good, because anyone can be good, but you have to be exceptionally good that they cannot afford not to call you for the job. Do you get it?
Okay.
What I do, I am not saying nobody else can do it, but no one can do it like I do it.
Okay, so there should be a specialty for you.
Yes. Find a niche for yourself. Okay? When you come, they have But you know what makes an actor is for you to be diverse. They call you on this, you're good to go. They call you on that, you're good to go, right? But there's a particular thing about you that they would always say, okay, I feel like this particular character is just Ifoma. Once I see this character, it's Ifoma that I'm saying. I must have delivered so well on that part that you call me. But then again, it comes with planning, because if you get so comfortable with your niche, then you forget the fact that you're an actor, because you're supposed to do different roles. You're supposed to adapt to different roles. So if you concentrate on one particular set of role, that is what they keep giving you, and then that doesn't make you an actor.
Okay, let me ask, right? Let's a little diverse.
Right.
The actress that was suspended, that was yesterday or 2 days ago, do you think it has affected her marketable skill? Because right now, she can't get any gig till the suspension is over.
Right.
And let's assume the suspension ends tomorrow. I think you know we are going to.
Okay.
Let's assume the suspension ends tomorrow. Of course, she's good at what she does effortlessly.
Yeah.
She knows her niche and all that. What would you say if at the end of the day, people don't call her for that? Because, of course, she's not the only actress. There are people that can do that same thing. But because of that little dot on her white, I mean.
Okay, so this is where I talk about being humble.
Okay.
I'm a very honest person. So I, for one, once if I were to be the one and the suspension is over, I'm going to pick up my phone and I'm going to be calling directors. So how are you doing? How is your day going? Hope you're good. I just wanted to check up on you.
Okay.
And then the director goes, oh, it's true. They suspended you, but you're back. I'm like, yeah, I messed up. I'm sorry, but I'm back.
Okay, so this is when the suspension is over.
Right.
Okay.
So because whether you like it or not, it went on social media. Everybody saw it. Everyone understood what happened.
Yeah.
But what matters is going on from here. What are you going to do about it? There was a mistake, and you've corrected it. No one is above mistake. So for her now coming back is just it's quite a bit simple, if I should say. She just needs to post on social media. That's the thing I tell you about social media.
Yeah.
You see the thing that is where it comes different for us and our older sets, the people that came before us, like Genevieve and Najide.
Yeah.
They had
Kemowa and the rest.
you get it? Then they didn't even have the social media thing for people to bash them and do and they still excelled, right? And so for us now, whether you like it or not, social media is important in various businesses, in various whatever thing you're doing. Social media is important. You need your presence. So trust me, she could wake up one morning, take one bump ass picture and post it, and it start trending again. And then you say, oh, she's trending again. I want her on my job. Oh, she's trending.
What if the Actors Guild of Nigeria suspends the director?
Why?
Because okay, wait. Let me get you right. It's because of the fact that she is out of the suspension, right?
Yeah, that's when they
Okay.
call her for the job.
Okay.
So just take a little, I'm sorry for what I did, and this it will never happen again. And then it lingers for a while. And then at some point, put a bonus picture, get the views. Well, this movie industry is about views. It's about people you can bring in to watch your movies on YouTube. So numbers are very, very important. So as much as number is important, your character has to stay in
Thank
check
you
too.
very much.
Okay?
Because she actually slapped. She slapped a crew member.
Right. See, this kind of things, I don't like to impute myself. Do you know why?
Why?
I like to hear from both sides of the story. We got from this side. I'm not saying because I am an actress or something. No, I'm saying basically this is me. I don't know how to judge from one person's perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've not heard from her. And I've not actually even heard from the crew member. I just saw on social media what is going on. So I have no rights whatsoever to impute any advice on that. So till I know the basis of the whole thing, then but for her to be suspended, so something definitely went underground. So whatever it is, I'm sure if you're that's the character thing I'm talking about. It takes nothing to call the crew member and then apologize. You're very sorry for what you did. Out of anger, a lot of things can happen and you can't control it. And then you move on with your life.
Okay, this question is gonna be so sensitive, right? Don't be scared. So, when it comes to women, we are still talking about glamorous, staying glamorous, young, and marketable, right? Would you say it's sometimes difficult, despite the fact that she knows her niche, she knows her job, she's authentic? You know, there was a time there's this trend that,
Okay, so I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, you get where I'm coming from.
Okay.
So, do you think it affects women the more? Because I don't think it affects the men
Okay.
like that.
See,
Quote me if I'm wrong.
this is where you get it wrong too, because it affects the men even more.
Okay.
That's the most funny thing about it. We women, thank God, at this age and time, we can fight for ourselves. We have a voice, we can talk, and
Okay.
then and people actually hear us. Why? Because being a woman is very beautiful, and you could just basically do anything.
Yeah.
But men too, they go through this. There is gayism, there is lesbianism.
But it's not that much in Nigeria.
Says who?
Okay.
So that's the thing. Okay, we don't have the statistics for
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But based on what we see on social media,
Mhm.
we fight for women's rights, and I get it. I love that too. But I have male colleagues too that are my friends. You should listen to their stories, and then you'll be like, "This is messed up, man. This is well, as much as you. There is no industry that doesn't face this." Both the male and the female. So
Okay.
I think in dealing with all this, let's just not specify women only.
Okay.
Let's just actors in general.
Okay.
Being an actor takes a lot from you, whether you like it or not. This is where I said, when we started, I said you have to have some source of
Income. Yeah.
something different. So if this doesn't work out, you have something to do. Do you get it?
Yeah.
If you have your money and someone and the truth about it is, you know how they say don't judge a
Book by its cover.
I judge a lot, man. You have to look. I'm sorry, I'm very authentic. You can come to me looking like a mad person, and then you'd expect me not to judge you. No, it doesn't make sense. Okay.
Okay.
So let's be realistic.
Okay.
Okay, it's just like you saying you're the presenter, and then you walk in looking like trash. I'm walking out because how are you the presenter?
Are you serious?
No, I can't give you that platform because one, you
Yeah.
have to look good.
Okay.
Presentable. Don't look like your problem.
Okay.
So now on social media, you see this whole fake it till you make it involves the BBL thing, involves the this, involves the that, involves a whole lot of things. Okay. So now, if you have your own money, I leave you set a set of standard for yourself. And
Okay.
the directors, they watch you. You're on close call. Oh, how do you live your life apart from sex? And they're on your social media, they're watching.
They asked that question?
Of course they do. You
Wow.
have to live your life every day like someone is watching. Do you get it? Because someone is always watching. The directors are watching, the costumers are everyone is watching. A costumer can just wake up one day and decide to become a director.
True.
Do you get it?
True.
She has money. She can do it. She just goes through the various necessary things she needs to do, and she becomes a director. Do you see why I say money?
Yeah.
It's very much. You have to factor in money. So for you not to be at the feet of people begging and crawling for something, see, if you're good, you're very good at what you do. You know what you bring to the table. You have your money. And you're very prayerful. I don't know for other people. I don't joke with prayers.
Okay.
Right? And you're very prayerful. And then you don't joke with your self-respect as a human being. Not for a woman, for a man or a woman. You have your self-respect. You will thrive in this industry. Because
Okay.
they need to. You push one, I will push 20. Don't piss me off. That's me. No, really.
You know, I'm actually imagining you as a director right now.
Thank you. Because I go on set and then I'm looking at people. And then
But do you think they treat you the same way? Do you think a director would see you and be like, no, I don't like what you're looking like or something?
he has the rights to say that?
And they walk you off the set?
No, but see, right before we get to set, of course, that's why they say send me your social media handles.
They watch your
social.
social,
Let
yeah.
me see the movies you've done, what you're good at. You can't come here on set and then you're walking me off set and then
After
just
you've
like,
gone
do
through
you
my
get it?
page.
No, so the whole thing about it is just be look good.
Yeah.
Okay? Even before the judging of before what is ever inside, both the outside and the inside should be perfect. You
Great.
don't have to start. My mom said you don't start. There's a way she says it. You only look good from inside. It doesn't make sense. But outside,
There should be a blend, right?
You have to blend it.
Thank you so much, Queen Ifa. You've actually loaded us with a whole lot this afternoon, and I had so much fun having this conversation with
I
you.
have so much fun too.
Thank you. So yeah, the show has come to an end. I'm sure you had a wonderful time. I'm sure you did. You definitely did. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join us same time tomorrow for more insights, more stories, more drama, trendings, you know. And that happens only on E-Vibes, the entertainment show on Signature TV. I'm your baby girl, Queenette Wokonta. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
We are local.
International communities observing just finished why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
The Jabi Akibi community is a suburb in the Federal Capital Territory. It is an urban slum in Jabi, which is located within the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, one of the 6 area councils in the Federal Capital Territory. Unlike many other rural communities in the country, it is lacking several basic amenities, with health care as their #1 priority. The plight of the community became manifest during a recent medical outreach in the area. The village head of Dakibiu, Amishi, used the occasion to cry out for urgent help. She lamented that villagers, including pregnant women, die on a daily basis as a result of lack of medical facilities in the community.
We share our problem with for federal government to bring a good hospital for us for here. There's nobody attend us. Before somebody reach lab camp, some they will take off on the road. Or some will go to this private hospital. After that, some people they are gone. There's nothing we can say. We try our best. The federal government to help us, nothing.
He urged the government to construct health centers and other social amenities in the area for the well-being of the people.
We have many problems in this village. In electricity, what we are using here, we are the one who is buying transformer. The water, what we are using in Dakibu here, is individual will provide the water in the village, and community we just come and if they want to use the water, they will buy it. Our problem also with federal health care, what will not happen here. We are begging federal government to help us clean our tears, to bring something for us.
The people expressed joy at the temporary relief brought to them through the free medical outreach.
We are very happy this morning as we see hospital come to help us to test, to know about our health. We're really happy, we really appreciate. Really, we have problem in this community. We need government to help us for healthcare. We don't have any healthcare near here. Unless we trek, like pregnant people, they'll trek, enter motor, spend transport, go to Guarimpa Hospital. Stress is too much to us.
The place is cool and calm. I have not had any that person that is paying for anything. It's free of charge and people are happy about it. We don't have hospital here. We don't have primary school. We don't have pipe bomb water. We don't have good road that's leading to the access to the community. As far as Dakibu is concerned, there is not any tangible government facility that's here in Dakibu here.
I've gotten my own malaria drugs. No, it's for free. It's for free.
The healthcare providers also spoke on the motivation behind the program.
If you come to this community, you notice that there's no health facility in this community, and the environment also, it's not very friendly. So today we are here to carry out a medical mission for the residents of this community, run certain tests, and also make sure that they're in good health and condition. And we're not just carrying out a medical mission here, we are also advocating to the federal government of Nigeria and all the other agencies to please intervene, that this community needs a proper medical health center that they can test its residents.
This project is done because after we've come into this community, we've noticed that this community is laden with not just health challenges, but also environmental challenges. No drainage system, no waste disposal system in place. So that means the community is prone to outbreaks of infection, like cholera, outbreaks of disease, cholera infections, etc. Can name them.
The community is hoping that beyond the response from these volunteers, that there will be a more lasting solution from the Federal Capital Territory Administration or the federal government, and that it will come sooner than later. In Abuja, I am Nasiru Usman for Signature TV.
Hello, thanks for joining us. And as usual on the show, we have another big fish. Someone who I would describe as a recurring decimal in the last almost 50 years when you talk about Nigerian sports. Well, he was known in football, but for so many years he had his hand in so many other things. My pleasure to welcome a Nigerian icon, a sports icon, and someone I think is my great pleasure and privilege to be hosting today. My pleasure to welcome Shegu Odegbami to the show. Shegu, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
First of all, I want to start from the very beginning. In the last 50 years, somehow, when we tell our sports story, Shegu Odegbami is somewhere in that story. How did it all start for you?
As a young boy, I was a football player on the streets of Jos, because we are talking sports. And in my primary school, I played in my class. I was a very small boy. Thereafter, I went to secondary school. I was playing for my class. And then came the pogrom of 1966, political pogrom in the north. I grew up in Jos, and my school was predominantly Catholic and Igbo, because it was a Catholic secondary school. The population was almost like 70% Igbo. They were affected by the pogrom, and they left as the result of the crisis in the north. So by the time we came back in June of 1966, more than 4/5 of the school had left. So there was only a small number of students left. The population of the school at that time was 200. So we were less than maybe 25 or 30 students left. And so they decided that all those who were in all the other classes should move to another secondary school, another Catholic secondary school near Jos, St. Joseph's College. And rather than leave the school empty, those of us who were in Form 1 should continue the school, should restart the school, as it were. So we restarted the school in 1970, or we continued our Form 1 in 1970. We were 17 in class. That meant that if we had a football match, 16 of us would dress up, and only one will be the curator and the cheerleader, and so on and so forth. So just to cut a long story short, I started playing for my secondary school in Form 1 when we were only 17 in class. And for the next 5 years, I played for the school because the population increased every year. So did my football improve for those years. So I found myself playing football competitively from the age of about 12. When I left secondary school, I was good enough to be invited to play in the academicals of Benue Plateau State at that time. But I had to quickly go to the West because I had admission to do my prelims in the University of Ibadan. That's how I left Jos in 1970 and went to Ibadan. I got to Ibadan, changed my mind about doing prelim, and decided I wanted to do something that was just newly introduced at the time: middle-level manpower development in the polytechnics to develop professionals, artisans and professionals, those that can use their skills, their hands, rather than the theoretical people in universities. So that's how I found myself at the Polytechnic. And of course, I had been good playing football in Jos. So it was natural. I took an interest. I continued. At the Polytechnic, I got exposed to football in Ibadan. And in my first year, one local club had found me and they registered me to be playing for them, even as a student.
What was the name of the club?
NTC. And 1.5 years, we won the Challenge Cup.
In Ibadan?
In the whole of the West. NTC was not even a major club people knew. But we were so good. We were young boys and all that. And we won. And after we won, our victory became too big for NTC to manage because it was just a small club. Yet we won against WNDC, which is ISCC, Water Corporation, against all the big clubs. We won. So that was my first big major exposure to football at a high level. But they had discovered me. Everybody now in the West now knew that there was this slow striker playing in one local club in Ibadan.
So I guess
they started hunting.
Great.
And then from there, I played for WNTV, WNBS, where I was doing my industrial attachment. Then I played for Housing Corporation. And when I was playing for Housing Corporation, I became the best player in the Ibadan Football Association League. That's the best player in the whole of the West. That was in 1973, which was an eye-opener for me too. Best player, where you had all the top names in Nigerian football playing in the West, and I was there. And they made me best player, gave me the award. So, and that year, I also played my first international match for the West against Central African Republic when we were preparing to go for the National Sports Festival, the first National Sports Festival in 73. Played the international match, I scored a goal, and I played well, and then I realized I was a good football player.
When this realization came, what did you do?
Within 6 months, I was invited to the national team because I went to the festival. I played one game. After that one game, I was invited to join the national team. They were setting up a new national team, the Green Eagles of Nigeria. They had a new coach called Ottoman Calder, and he assembled the best 100 players they discovered from the festival to form a new national team for Nigeria. This was in December of 1973, and my name was listed there. Very few people know me. And they did the screening, so many games, they printed it down to 33, and my name was there. I was one of the 33 players selected to start a new national team for Nigeria in December of 1973. So that was where it started, because I was in the national team, an ordinary boy from Jos who didn't have even a dream of playing football, who suddenly found himself playing and was invited to the national team that had Haruna Elerika, Tony Igwe, Peter Nick, all those great players.
And you were quite young.
And I was very young. I was 21.
You know, I thought you were already in ICC.
No.
Before you went to play for the national team.
No, absolutely not. It was when I was in the national team that Shooting Stars now recruited me to come and play, because I had to go back to do my HND at the Polytechnic.
In Ibadan?
In Ibadan. I had to leave the national team in January of 1974. It was in Afuze. We were camped in Afuze because I got admitted to do my HND. I wanted to study, of course, since I wasn't going to UI. Okay, and I finished my OND. I had to do the HND.
What did you?
And
what
it
were
just
you reading?
started in mechanical engineering, and it was the start of HND, the HND program. That was
Nigeria.
the first one. No, at the Polytechnic Ibadan. So I went to go and spend 2 years doing the HND. So when I went back to do it from the national team, Shooting Stars now recruited me to play for them. So I played for them for 2 years. The 2 years I spent for my HND, I was playing in Shooting Stars. And in that time, we won the Africa Cup Winners' Cup. And I was one of the 2 highest goal scorers as a student.
In the competition?
Yes, in the competition. And as soon as I finished, I was dropping my paper. I was invited back to the national team. So I did my youth service in the national team. And
so the national team then, was it like an elongated kind of employment? Because today, they mobilize, and then when you're done...
at that time, there was nobody playing abroad.
Mm-hmm.
We were all local. And there were so many competitions. There was the World Cup, there was the Nations Cup, there was the Wafu Cup, which was a national team thing to start with, and so on. There were so many competitions. So, and we were all camped. The national team was almost in permanent camp. We go from one camp to the other. So they were preparing for the Olympics. The team had played Olympic qualifiers and just won to go to play in the Olympics in 1976. And I was finishing my paper. So they took me from the classroom, flew me to Germany to go and join the national team that was preparing to go to the Olympics in 1976. So that's how I entered the national team as a youth corper and started playing my career, which lasted several years. And the incident of 1976 is what I'm wearing today, because you will see celebrating 1976 Olympians, because I was in that group of Olympians that went to the Olympic Games of Montreal in 1976. The story is that a day to the start of the Olympics, Nigeria and 27 African countries decided to boycott the Olympics because of South Africa, apartheid in South Africa. That was the Soweto uprising. Young people were killed in the city of Soweto, and the world was angry with what happened. And some African countries, the OAU, decided that New Zealand, that was supporting South Africa, having relations with them, should not be at the Olympics. That if they were at the Olympics, African countries would boycott. And the IOC rejected that challenge. And so African countries, 27 of them,
boycotted,
led by Olusegun Obasanjo of Nigeria and Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, they led the group to boycott. So a day to the start of the Olympics, the IOC sent all of us packing from the Olympic Games. So we never became Olympians. When we had registered, we had trained, we had prepared, we had done everything, and Nigeria had one of the best contingents in our history. And that's where you find some of my colleagues who are here. Bruce Jirigo, Godwin Obaseki, Charlton Ihizwele. Obaseki was not the third best hurdler in the world, high hurdler on the world at that time. Charlton Ihizwele was the best jumper in the world. Bruce and his colleagues, we had 3 or 4 of the best relay squads in the world. We had Davidson Ande. We had Obisi Awankwa, who were young, 17-year-olds, who were boxers and were doing well. Davidson eventually became #1 amateur boxer in the world. We had a solid team, and our national team was also strong. So we went, we didn't participate. One day to the opening competition. So the damage was done psychologically. So young men like us, who had dreams, who had prepared, some of them had prepared for 4 years, like Bruce, and they were ready to win medals. And suddenly, a day to go, they sent them back.
Do you think
it was painful?
Do you think Nigeria was wrong in that decision, or rather Africa was
That's
wrong?
That's where I'm going. Yeah. We were not into politics. We were just athletes, but the decisions were political. And later, they made us understand why. That we were sacrificing our Olympic medals for the freedom of black people in South Africa. And when Andrew Young explained it many years later, that boycott was what led to the early release of Nelson Mandela from jail, to the election of a black person as president of South Africa, to the eradication of apartheid system in South Africa. When we saw it, that those were the results of our boycott, or our boycotts were part of produce those things, then we started to appreciate that our sacrifices were worth it. Before then, it was pain, because dreams were shattered, hopes were lost, opportunities, lifetime opportunities were lost. Some never went again to the Olympic Games, which was our ultimate dream. So it was the pain of not going to the Olympics. After coming back, we were neglected. Nobody even raised the issue. For 50-something years, nobody came to compensate us for what we did, and so on and so forth. And some people never got over it. Many died until Onyema, Epis, came up, hearing the story, to say, no, we must bring back those guys and show them that we appreciate what they did, the sacrifices they made. If nobody else does appreciate, we do. And he now gave us incredible opportunity to offload our pain. He made us ambassadors of Air Peace Airline. So for the rest of our lives, those of us who are still alive, we fly Air Peace free of charge anywhere we are going. You see why I will always wear this and wear my cap?
Okay.
Because that has never happened in history, in the history of humanity. That kind of generosity has never happened. And he built a wall. And on that wall, in the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, a federal government institution that is the think tank of foreign policy for Nigeria, built a wall, is there today. And on that wall are the names of the 46 athletes that represented Nigeria that did not become Olympians because they were making a sacrifice
For Africa.
For Africa and for the black race. And also, he remembered the 1980 squad that won the first Nations Cup for Nigeria. So if you see the wall today, fountains of water and lights, beautiful in gold at the Institute. Our names are there forever and ever listed. It was all courtesy of Air Peace. So that's why we are Air Peace ambassadors. And that's why we are clothed like this to come to ENUGU, to come and console with the family of one of us, an ambassador, Christian Chukwu, our chairman, who was also an Olympian. We went to the 1976 Olympics together, and we went through the pain together and all of that, and we're not recognized together. He became an Air Peace ambassador, and he passed on. So we came here on a condolence visit to his family. That's why you see all of us like this.
Yeah,
and
so now that you're talking about the chairman, tell me about him. I mean, he was your contemporary. You had so many victories. You had so many, forgive me, fights, because you played for opposing teams, big-time opposing teams. How would you describe Christian Chukwu? What kind of asset was he for our country?
People don't know. Christian Chukwu, complete gentleman. But when the full story of the man is told, then we will start to have faint ideas of his impact and his influence in the unity of this country. He is a product of the Civil War, like so many others who were part of the team that came out of the Civil War in 1970. Many of them soldiers, young men who were conscripted into the Biafran army, who fought. And when they came out as a defeated army, even though verbally they were saying no victor, no vanquished, but there was a defeated army. And the Igbos, who were at the top hierarchy of Nigeria, both in government, in the civil service, in academia, in virtually every sphere of life before the crisis, were now relegated. They were not defeated. And they had lost everything. The Igbo needed to come back. Full integration, reintegration into the Nigerian system. And I don't know where they got the wisdom from, but they chose the route, which is not loud, the soft power route of football to get back. The captain of Nigeria before the Civil War, Godwin Achebe, was an Igbo man. The captain of Nigeria immediately after the Civil War was Godwin Achebe. The first time anybody, any Igbo man, would attain any such height after the Civil War was an Igbo man. That was step number one. Step number two, Rangers came up. 1 year after they were in the finals of the Challenge Cup, an Igbo teams were afraid from Igbo land to even venture out. People were afraid to venture out. They didn't know the reception they were going to meet. But Rangers went out and got to the finals of the Challenge Cup. And 2 years later, they won the Challenge Cup and they started winning it. And whether you liked it or you didn't like it as a Nigerian, wherever you are, you had to respect Rangers and the way they played. They played with heart, they played with spirit, they were diehard, they were brilliant, and they were winning everything. And everybody was falling in love with them. And if you fell in love with Rangers, you are falling in love with the Igbo. So Rangers International was a movement of the Igbo people. And who spearheaded it? Chairman Christian Chukwu. He was the captain after Achebe. Somebody came in, but he became captain. And he played like a true leader. He was calm, he was cool, he was calculative. At the back, he would organize his defense, and when things got difficult, he would be the first one to go forward. So you could see in his game a model of leadership that we never found in Nigerian football before. So naturally, he became captain of the national team. And for the next 7 years, Christian Chukwu led Nigeria's national team from the doldrums. We were nowhere, and he took us to the apex of football in Nigeria. He and his Rangers colleagues, there were 6 or 7 of them at any time in the national team. He carried and wore the mantle very proudly, and yet they were Nigerians. They were a model for the rest of us.
So, Shegun, would you say, from the story you're telling me, that Rangers football was a strategic rehabilitation for the Igbo nation after the Civil War?
I don't know if it was deliberate, whether it was a deliberate strategy or whether it was just coincidental or whatever it was. But it was a formula that worked.
That brought them back to the mainstream.
It brought them back to the mainstream, and it took them to the apex. Because nobody now remembered that this is an Igbo man, that is not an Igbo man. Everybody was singing the praises of Christian Chukwu, Emmanuel Okala, Matthias Obianika. It was all Igbo. Nobody cared. And at the time, 7 of them were from Rangers International that were representing Nigeria. Who was looking to see where they came from?
Why didn't it matter then and it matters now?
It is because of the game.
Because of the
game. You see, we are talking sport. Football is a spirit. Nobody understands it. In the whole world today, nobody understands it. The kind of passion with which people follow it, with which people play it, with people invest in it, you don't find such passion anywhere else. It is a spirit. That's the only way I can call it. It is beyond any divisions. When the countries are at war, sometimes they stop the war so that a game will go on. It happened even with us during the Biafran War, when Pele came with Santos Football Club. Yes, in 1968 or 69. When he came to Nigeria.
There was a ceasefire.
Yes, now. The soldiers wanted to listen to commentary on radio. So both sides stopped fighting. It's documented. So football has powers that you don't find any. I call it spirit because it is really spirit. It is not physical. If it were physical, they would have duplicated it somewhere else and used it the way they should. But it is, and it's not rocket science, you see. So that even Nigerians, with all our, brilliance and everything, we are not tapping into the power that football and sports as a whole have shown us through the years exist in those things. We can use those things. We can use football. People say it's the greatest unifier in our country, but we are not using it to unify us. It is a unifier. It shows itself every time when the country is playing. You don't care who did it. But suppose you now deliberately strategize and plan to use it to achieve certain objectives, national objectives. You can imagine what you can derive from such utilization. So
we're going to talk more about this, Shegun, but do you feel bad, for instance, that after 1976, after 1980, that it is an individual who is recognizing, that sacrifice and not our government? Do you feel bad about it?
You're asking me,
are you thinking
to feel bad is to blame somebody, is to blame an institution, is to say Nigeria, that's abstract. It is a lack of understanding. It is forgetfulness. It is a lack of appreciating the depth of injury, inflicted on certain young men who came back and they just disappeared into space, and nobody could recall what was going on. It took one of us who was a victim also, and who had been in pain all these years, to revive the story and to get somebody like Allen Onyema and Professor Osagai of the NIA interested to dig up that part of our history to say, this is unfair. It's always existed. But people did not remember, people did not know, people did not appreciate, people did not. How many Igbo people knew? Igbo, I'm talking of the race itself. How many of them really appreciate the role of Rangers in the reintegration of the Igbo into Nigeria? It's not 90% of Igbos don't know. 99% don't know. You see, they just take things for granted. Whereas, whether it was deliberate or accidental or incidental, Rangers were the biggest force, the biggest movement
in the reintegration.
In the reintegration of the Igbo. Whether they like it or not, that's the reality of it. But how many people know? So you can't blame anybody. It's not
after the debacle of 1976, I call it a debacle because, like you rightly pointed out, some people, their dreams died there. A lot of people never got another opportunity. But people like you, Soldier Don, what happened? What drove you? Like you, Christian Chukwu, and a couple of other people.
No, we were football players. And we just went back to continue our game. And opportunities came again. You know, some people, they are lucky. I was one of those who were lucky. We didn't even play to qualify to go to the 1980 Olympics. If Providence had not intervened,
tell me about
the way it did, I would not be an Olympian today. But in 1980, when America decided to lead the West to boycott the 1980 games, and Russia, because Russia invaded Afghanistan. So the Russians, to save face, now threw open the Olympics to friendly nations that had not qualified. Nigeria was one of them. So they threw open their gates to the Nigerian national football team and a few other teams in Nigeria to please come, because America had boycotted, this had boycotted, that. You understand? So that's how they now mobilized us last minute, and they sent us to Moscow to go to the Moscow Olympics. That's how I became a true Olympian. Even though in 1976 I was registered, but we didn't participate. So you see, it's about opportunity, and it's about politics, and it's about now the realization of the power of sports, even politically, to effect and influence change in the world, in the global politics. That's what they did now. You boycott the games and you change certain aspects, the world order in certain places. Mandela was freed. Afghanistan, were invaded by Russia. America protested. It's a world war indirectly. So it is.
They use it as a tool.
Yes, it is. It is a tool that is a weapon that is used in war. War. So
let me take you back to a question I asked, because sometimes I think about it. You guys, buddies in the Green Eagles, best of friends, and then there's a match between IICC and Rangers. How do you guys draw the line? Or how did you draw the line then?
First, we were friends. Take, for instance, Christian Chukwu, Emmanuel Okala, and the rest of them. We started our game together in 1973. Emmanuel Okala and I were roommates all the time in camp. When we started out, when I went back to the national team and started playing for so many years, we would go out together, we would chase a few girls together, we would drink together, we would stay in camp together, we would play together for the national team. I got to know how they behaved. Chukwu, of course, brought all his elements to the national team. Okala did the same. What he was doing for Rangers to win was what he brought into the national team to win for the national team. So we got to know each other. It was war. There was no friendship at all. We would get to the field and it's like, want to kill ourselves.
And one falls down and you don't care.
You don't care, and all that. But deep down, of course, you would care. But it was a tribal thing, really. It was a tribal thing.
It became a tribal thing.
It was.
So
after the movement
at what point does the spirit you talked to me about, which is football, at what point does it leave you when you start playing teams against teams?
It never leaves you. It never leaves you.
But you told me it's war.
It never leaves you. You just, I don't understand it. I will just give you a scenario. I went to watch Mike Obiku when he was playing in Feyenoord. Mike Obiku was a former national player. I went to his club to go and watch him play a certain match, and he was playing, and he scored a goal. He just scored a goal, and he ran to the spectators, took off his shirt, and there was this fence with barbed wire. The fence to prevent spectators from jumping into the field. It was barbed wired. And he saw this fence with barbed wire, and he just leapt in the air, grabbed the fence, and pressed his body against it, and was shouting and shouting, and he was bleeding.
And he felt no pain.
He was bleeding, and then when he left that fence and fell to the ground, it was blood everywhere. He didn't continue the match. They had to take him out because for that moment he went mad that he scored a goal.
He was in the spirit.
That is typical of football. In football, in every match, people go mad. The players, the spectators, even those watching at home, somebody will kick his television because a goal was scored against him. In the field of play,
our friends become enemies.
All kinds of things will happen. The spirit just takes over. And for those few moments, you are not yourself. It is the spirit that takes over. It is that kind of passion that drives football up to today. You don't understand it. I don't understand it. I try to, but I truly don't. So when you go to the field of play, and Chukwu is there, he's my friend, he's my brother, and I have to go past him to go and face Okala to score that goal. Who the hell is Chukwu? You don't think of him as your friend or anything like that.
And who the hell is Odegbami? Everybody is just trying to win. Look, so I'll take a break. Thanks for staying with us. And my guest is still Segun Odegbami, Olympian, former Green Eagles, sports commentator, businessman, and so many things. Segun,
so many things, except that I'm not a businessman. If I was a businessman, I would be a billionaire in this country. Now, I don't even have the million. And you are calling me a businessman. No, I'm not a businessman. No, I'm saying it.
What haven't you done, Segun?
No, that to have done so many things doesn't make me a businessman.
You're into entrepreneurship. You are into sports marketing. You are into. Let me even before I ask my last question, Segun, what is the secret that you're still looking so young?
No, I'm not.
No. I didn't say you are. I said you are looking so young. Mm-hmm. Tell us so that other younger people can learn from it.
I don't know that I'm looking.
Because you're not the only one that played football.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Neither were you the only one that went to the Olympics.
I don't know that I'm looking young because everywhere I go to, all these small boys, they will be saying, "Daddy, daddy, daddy."
They call me daddy too. So,
so how can you say?
No, but
daddy. No, I'm tired of that.
How have you? I mean, before this interview, we were talking, and you talked about, always doing something.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Having your hand in something.
Engaging my mind, engaging my body, living outdoors.
I mean, for instance, when you are with your colleagues,
yes.
1976, 1980.
Yes. As we are there now.
And somebody comes. The person they know is Segun Odegbami. So how? Because the younger ones.
I will tell you why.
Yeah, the younger ones need to know this. How have you remained relevant? How have you remained in the news? How have you also remained healthy over these years? That's before the last question.
Well, experience is important. Knowledge is important. What is more important is what you do with the knowledge you have or with the experiences you have. It is in the doing. It is not in just the knowing. So what have I done? I have utilized my little education. I've utilized my vast experiences, which you cannot buy in the marketplace. The experiences that I have, some of which I have shared with you today, you cannot buy it in any supermarket. I own them. So what do I do with them? That's what makes a big difference in my life, that I observe makes a big difference in my life. That I have some education, of course, opens up my mind to all kinds of possibilities, particularly that of not ending up neglected, poor, forgotten, like so many of those that were involved in sports in those days. That was their story. And when you went into sports, you ended up outcast, forgotten, neglected. So I had made up my mind.
Yeah.
I had made up my mind, even when I was playing, when I was in school, when I was playing, when I didn't go to UI, I didn't become a doctor, a lawyer. I had polytechnic education. I was a first class student when I was in secondary school. Nobody thought I would go to a polytechnic, but I went to polytechnic because I was convinced that the future belongs to those who could use their hands. That was what we were told. And that's the position we are in now. Skills are more important than the theory that you read in class and so on. Everybody, entrepreneurship, what is it about? It's about using your skills to achieve so much. I went into that, and then polytechnic education became third class. It was not recognized. If you went to a polytechnic, you were a nobody. So I was heading in that direction. So I had to start to create my own future. Fortunately, I had some knowledge, I had basic education, and I started making use of the knowledge I have, the experiences I have, to situate myself in such a way that I would not suffer in my old age. And that meant engaging my mind constantly, putting myself in places that are relevant to what I know, which is sport. I don't do anything that is outside of sport. Everything I ever do is sport. I own a radio station. It's a sports radio station. I am part of the ownership of a newspaper chain. It's a sports newspaper chain. I own a secondary school. It is a sports school. I own this. Everything I do is related to who I am, that Nigerians know me for.
As they say, you stayed on your lane.
Exactly. I stayed on my lane, but I ventured into politics. I ventured into diplomacy. I became an ambassador. I ventured into health. I became a consultant on health issues related to sports. I ventured into journalism. I went into the sports media. I write sports. I do this, I do that. So, and the opportunities are vast in all spheres of sports. In law, in medicine, in economy, in agriculture, in town planning, in the environment. The opportunities are everywhere, all connected to that sports ecosystem. And nobody is in it. Nobody is in it.
It's untapped.
Can you believe that they were looking for a top person in Africa, in the sports business? Top person in the sports business in Africa. Me that I don't even do much business in sport. Harvard University came, and I was the one they picked as a resource person to go to Harvard and deliver a lecture, be part of, the resource people to deliver lecture to students in Harvard in the sports business that I know little about. Because there are no people in the sports business. So the opportunities in sports are
limitless.
So I am just there, keeping myself busy, doing this and doing that,
and making some money.
Not making a lot of money. I thank God I'm sustaining myself. I'm living well. I'm doing okay. I'm relevant.
There was something. There was something you said.
This is our last question.
There was something you said, Shegu. Shegu keeps insisting this is the last question. For the millions of Nigerians who are enjoying the story you're telling, would you let me just do one more? So there was something instructive you said, Shegu, that you were invited to the Green Eagles camp. But because you needed your 2 years of HND. You left the camp to go and complete your 2 years of education.
Yeah.
I found that very instructive.
Yeah.
As you continuously urge me to end this conversation, can you tell me what happened to you from when you returned to the Green Eagles and when you left, and the things you've done since then?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I returned to the Green Eagles, and I committed to it. I had dreams now, realizing that yes, I was a good football player. 1 year into my National Youth Service, I was declared third best player in Africa for the first time in Nigeria's history. That a Nigerian football player was amongst the top 10 in Africa, and I was third. It was the first time any Nigerian would occupy such a position when they were doing the best. It wasn't as they were doing now, awards.
Awards, yeah.
They were just picking. It was a magazine in France. And then they would announce it. And I was third in 1977. And it was celebrated in Nigeria, across Nigeria.
About in your early 20s, actually.
Yeah, no, I was 25.
Okay.
I was high up there, man. You know. And then the realization that so I am this good. And of course, we had won the Cup Winners' Cup for the first time in the history of this country. I was part of the team that won the Cup Winners' Cup for the first time. And I scored, along with Moses Otolorin. We scored 17 goals. He scored 8. I scored 8. And I was a student. And I was achieving that much. That same year, we won the ECOWAS Cup for the first time. 1 year later, we went to the All-Africa Games. I was in the All-Africa Game. We won a silver medal. We won the FA Cup. We won the National League. Me and my colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the victories. And we almost qualified for the World Cup. We lost last match in Lagos. So we could have gone to the World Cup. And that would have been
another first.
So, you see, all of that changed my life, of course. Because I became one of the most popular players on the African continent. And that's important. You know, I had to start to dream. So my dream was to become Africa's best player. I wanted to become Africa's best player. I wanted to be part of those that will win the Africa Club Championship for the first time. Those were my two ambitions. The World Cup was the third. If we qualified for the World Cup, that would be third. And I chased after those three. I chased after those three. And I came close, so close, in 1981, 1982. In 1982, had we defeated Algeria, had we left politics out, we would have defeated Algeria in the last match to qualify us for the 1982 World Cup in Spain. Had we not lost Felix Owolabi, not by death, by yellow cards and so on, to play in the finals of the club championship, and if I didn't have an injury at the semi-final, between the two of us, we could have won and become the first club to win the championship. Had those things not happened, that year I would have been declared Africa's best player. So in 1 year, I could have achieved all three.
All you wanted.
I failed in all three. I took my shoes in December of 1984 and I threw them into the terrace, and I never went back to football again.
Playing football?
I stopped completely. Now I decided to chase other things, but not football this time. But I was going to ride on the back of football for the rest of my life. I'm still on that journey up till now. From 1984 to 2025. I have been in the sports world. I have managed athletes. I took Chioma Ajunwa Charity Opera to go to the Olympic Games. One came back with gold, one came back with silver. For 4 years.
Great job.
For 4 years, I was Nigeria's only athlete representative in the IAAF. That's the International Amateur Athletics Federation. And I was competing against representatives in Europe. I was following the girls to their races. I was into athletics. I have since then managed basketball. For 8 years, I was the de facto chairman of the best basketball team in Nigeria that qualified several times for Africa. One of the topmost basketball teams in Africa. I was like the chairman of that club. I was a consultant to First Bank. So I'm just saying, I have done so many things. For over 20-something years, I've been consulting for the Nigeria Heart Foundation. I am an ambassador of exercise is medicine. I am I'm a champion of non-communicable diseases in Nigeria. I am ambassador in the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. I head the sports and diplomacy unit. I am this, I am that. I've just been venturing into everything. So that has been my life. I am not idle. I am not idle at all. I don't have idle time. I don't have spare time. I am engaging my mind in all kinds of physical, psychological, mental activities that are stimulating, related to sports, that keep me going. They keep me happy.
So you've had a very exciting life, full of activities, full of so many things. When you look at these years, what will be your highest and what will be your lowest? What is your biggest regret? And what was that time in your sports journey that you thought that this is it for me?
Well, the best way I would answer you is that this is deep philosophy. What you asked me is deep philosophy. It's not a physical thing. The way I say it, it's not a physical thing. So I can't answer you the way you expect me to answer you. There are no regrets. I've lived my life the way the universe has shaped it. I've learned to accept it and embrace it. I behold it and I like it and I celebrate it. No aspect of it is good or bad, or it is just there, and whatever it is, I accept. That's what life offers me. So there are no high points or low points, or even though physically, it's, oh, we didn't win this cup, we didn't win that cup, but it's all part of the plan for something that is beyond me. I don't know what it is.
So for you, it's been an exciting journey.
Fantastic. I have enjoyed every inch of the journey, the good, the bad, the ugly. It is all good.
So your final question. What would be your advice to sports managers in Nigeria, our football, our other sports? What would be your advice? Because I don't want to say it's my opinion, but a lot of people think that our sports is not as boisterous as it used to be. So what would be your advice for a more successful sports engagement, a more successful use of sports as a pedestal to do a lot of great things for our country?
Well, the sports industry, the sports business is a huge industry. It covers virtually all aspects of life. It affects all aspects of life. If you host the World Cup, for example, the least activity in hosting the World Cup is the football that is played there itself. 99% of the things attached to hosting the World Cup is your travel, it's your airports, it's your immigration, it's your security, it's your health, it's your hospitality, it's your this, it's your manufacturing, it's your merchandising, it is everything else. So you see, the sports space is vast. The opportunities that the power of sport, the followership of sport, the passion of sport, the opportunities that all those things present are limitless. But they are there for he or she who has the creative mind, the innovative mind, who can focus to tap into and create their own future. The opportunities are there. We've not scratched the surface. And I'm not just talking Nigeria. Even the world as a whole has as a tool something that some countries are realizing is more potent than the gun. Go to the Middle East now. Go to Saudi Arabia. Go to Morocco. See what Morocco is doing. Go to see what they are doing. They are developing a huge tourism industry that is driven around sports. America has led. It's a whole planet of activity and businesses and all of that. In Nigeria, we haven't even done anything. We are not even part of it.
So we need to wake up.
So our managers, our children, our parents, our schools, our institutions, everybody must devote a little time to think of what I have said, to start to look at sports. Keep aside all your former knowledge, your thinking about what sports can do, and start to think afresh and look at it critically. Have a forensic look at it and examine the possibilities. It is fun. It is play. It is exercise. It is well-being of a person. It creates job opportunities. It fertilizes the mind. It is something that can drive whole industries. Any such thing should be embraced, should be encouraged. So my word for our managers and so on is that sport is there. It is wasting, like a beautiful flower in the desert. So let us go there and fertilize it and water it and nurture it and treat it well. And sport will deliver in our country.